evening from the RSV Media Center in Belize City. We're happy you could join us for the news this evening. I am Anju Gidwani.
And good evening, I am Patrick Jones. The news day started bright and early today with stories touching our lives happening right in our own backyard here at the RSV Media Center, in the nation's capital and around the Caribbean.
There is a lot to tell you about, so let's start with a check of the developments that are making headlines today.
Belize says bye-bye Privy Council, hello CCJ.
Bowen & Bowen Distribution Center jacked in Belize City.
And the mayor of Punta Gorda Town throws his weight behind the embattled Jamaican fishing venture.
Details of these stories and more are coming up on the broadcast tonight, but first, here is a word from our sponsors.
The jurisdiction of the British Privy Council in appeal matters for Belize will end at midnight on May 31st. That is because on June 1st, appeals to the Colonial Court will be abolished and Belize will formally look to the Caribbean Court of Justice as its court of final appeal. A statement from the office of Prime Minister Dean Barrow made the announcement this morning. According to the official statement, Prime Minister Barrow has issued orders that bring into force the Belize Constitution 7 Amendment Act and the Caribbean Court of Justice Act with effect from June 1st, 2010. This means that CCJ will now replace the Privy Council as the highest appellate court for Belize, which had retained appeals to the Privy Council upon attainment of independence on September 21, 1981. The statement from the office of the Prime Minister says that the removal of the Privy Council and its replacement by the CCJ as the highest court of appeal represents, quote, a major landmark in the constitutional and legal history of Belize, end of quote. The government announcement stresses that the move to the CCJ on June 1st will not affect any appeals pending before the Privy Council on May 31, 2010. The orders bringing into force the two pieces of legislation were published in the Belize Gazette on May 1, 2010. The Caribbean Court of Justice is based in Trinidad and Tobago.
Almost 8 years after a similar occurrence, the Bowen & Bowen Distribution Center on Slaughterhouse Road in Belize City fell victim to another jacking. But this time the results were very different. For one, the jacking happened during the day as opposed to the nighttime robbery back on June 18, 2002. Today, the jackers wore masks and there were no shots fired and no one was hurt. But for employees of the soft drink company, there was terror at the workplace this morning. And that is where Love TV's Dalila Ikal and cameraman Miles Gillett picks up the story.
This city, this country is in a state of anarchy, and there's no telling what is going to happen next.
Those were the words of Nick Pollard, sales manager at Bowen & Bowen Limited, after the Belize City Distribution Center on Slaughterhouse Road was robbed at gunpoint shortly after 8:30 this morning.
From what I understand, two masked men came in when the gate opened at 8 and they parked their vehicle for a few minutes and then waited. And at the opportune time, they moved their car over here with a getaway plan to drive from here straight to the gate and escape. And the men were already working out here and they came out brandishing their guns, two guns, and all the men ran, all the people out here ran, and they went inside to the office, jumped over the counter and helped themselves to the cash that was available.
How much cash is that?
Well, I don't know yet. They are still checking, but let me say that we have a very well put procedure where all our monies are not here at that time.
From eyewitness reports, the robbers had apparently been monitoring the early morning operations. Cynthia Carr was at the center with her two children to make a sale and saw when the men made their move.
8:30 we reach here in our taxi and we done set up our bottles to sell, and I went and I washed my hands, but when I came in I noticed a grey car was parked there with some guys in it, but I don't really pay it man. I figured that somebody will make on sell bottles or something. And I came back from behind the building and I saw them with their heads, you know, them bend down their head. And I never really stood because they can be kind of tinted so you can't see too good. And by the time I walk up there, they pull up from there and park like that. And then I see the guys coming out with the mask and over their head. And then I never noticed a gun or anything. I just know that robbery. And then my kids were standing by the bottles, so I just grabbed them and then I ran. And before I could have drive out with the taxi, the car already passed us going out. And then when we came back, they said one of the guys went in, jumped the counter, and I guess it got some money. But it happened fast. And I guess they were parked there monitoring what everybody was doing because nobody was paying mind to the vehicle.
And while two armed men held up the establishment, other eyewitnesses say they saw a third man inside a grey two-door car as they drove off, taking off their masks. All three men were of dark complexion. Furthermore, the vehicle had no license plate. Both main gates to the establishment were closed immediately after, while employees recovered from the incident and all customers were temporarily turned back.
We have a normal customer service here. We are open to all customers on foot or by vehicle. So when they come in, we accommodate them. We allow them to park near the fence. We allow them to park here. As you can see, the vehicles are reversing to pick up their drinks. And it's all about service.
You said that this is basically open service to anyone and everyone.
That's right.
Does this incident, or is this incident going to be changing anything?
Well, as you can see right here, there's a tinted vehicle park here. It could have been criminals parking here to go in and rob again. You can't tell until the driver comes out. But we are now going to increase our security at the center. You know, I have to be careful what I say because, as I said, the criminal element is listening. But we are going to increase the security at the center and certainly take measures to prevent another armed robbery.
The distribution center reopened for business at 10:30 this morning. Reporting for Love News, I am Dalila Ikal.
After calculations, company official told Love News that the robbers got away with $500 from the Bowen & Bowen Belize City Distribution Center. No one was hurt during the incident and the police have launched an investigation and detained 3 persons for questioning by late this evening. This is the second time that the distribution center has been hit by armed robbers. The first case was in 2004 when Patrick Roberto and Leslie Pipersberg, former employees of the business, robbed the establishment of approximately $30,000 in cash. In the process, the men killed 2 security guards, Fidel Mai and Kevin Alvarez, and a couple, Sherry Tucker and David Flores, who were in their car by the seaside in the Buttonwood Bay area of Belize City.
On Monday night, police say they visited M&M's gas station at the corner of Fadden Avenue and Savannah Road in Independence Village. 29-year-old gas attendant Isaias Yaskal reported that while he was working at the gas station, a dark-skinned male person arrived with a 5-gallon plastic bottle and ordered $20 gasoline. Yaskal said while he was attending the man, he took out a firearm and pointed it at him and asked him if he wanted to die, and then proceeded to rob him of just over $854. Police investigations continue.
30-year-old Micah Alexander Thompson has been charged with keeping unlicensed firearm and ammunition and possession of controlled drugs. On Sunday, police conducted a search at Thompson's house on Neil Penn Road. Police say they found a black handgun with no serial number and a magazine containing 30 rounds of 9mm ammunition. Police also found a plastic bag containing 30 grams of cannabis. As a result, Thompson was arrested and charged.
Also on Monday, police on mobile patrol on Electric Avenue in Belize City conducted a search on 19-year-old Jason Almendarez. Police say they found a .22 pen gun along with 3 matching rounds of ammunition. Police also found a plastic bag containing 36.8 grams of cannabis. As a result, police arrested and charged Almendarez with keeping unlicensed firearm and ammunition and the possession of controlled drugs.